Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem. Today we're going to talk about the importance of prayer. SubhanAllah, prayer is a gift sent to the Prophet ﷺ. When he was in Isra al-Mi'raj, Rasulullah ﷺ was given the gift of 5 daily prayers. Did you know that the Christians and Jews lost the knowledge of how to pray correctly? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even tells the Jews in the Quran, وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, bow down with those who bow down. As a reminder that these are the people that are doing the proper way of prayer that the prophets have done before. SubhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ almost 70 times in the Quran. So it's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes as high priority. And you know, it's not something that's a burden, oh my God, I have to wake up for Fajr in the cold water or something else. It's a gift. It's a time for you to bond with Allah, to connect to Allah, to ground yourself. You know, there's these Buddhists that spend almost 15, 20 hours a day trying to meditate and reach higher nirvana, you want to call it enlightenment. Allah said, hey, you're not mandatory to do long hours, but at least do the bare minimum. Do these 5 daily prayers so you're grounded and connected to Allah, and it brings blessings for the rest of your life. SubhanAllah, as you build your prayer, it transforms your whole life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, that the righteous are those, the believers, true believers are those who in their salah they have khushu', they have this awe and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that melts their heart and their body. So that mindset transforms their whole life because now they have Allah as a top priority. This is a gift that Allah gives us. And so many times I've seen in my own life, and so many people I've seen that, you know, problems were happening, things were happening, and all it took was some prayers and some dua of lifting our hands, and subhanAllah, Allah resolved it. So this is a gift that we have to try to inculcate in our life. And you know, the top people in the world, the top achievers, even in the worldly sense, are those who have discipline. So if you have discipline, for example, these people, even these CEOs, they're waking up at 4 a.m. and they're exercising and then doing this morning ritual, etc., etc. Allah's given us this gift so that we have a morning ritual, we have an afternoon ritual, evening ritual. We're grounded, our priority always is to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the same time, it's a means for us to bond. When we go to the masjid, when we go, for example, to Makkah and Medina, we're bonding with other believers. As soon as the adhan is called, then we're bonding together and praying together to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a means of connecting. So many Christians, their means of worship is dancing around and singing and drinking, eating, and they call that worship. Allah says true worship is something that I've given you. This is a heavenly worship, not something man-made. And subhanAllah, Allah even mentions that the Jews and Christians, they أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةِ وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ. They lost the salah and then they fell into their vain desires. And that's one of the reasons of their destruction. Lastly, I'll mention this, that the people of the hellfire, when they're there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ, when they're talking about their past, they say, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ, that we were not amongst those who pray. وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ, and we weren't amongst those who fed the poor. So subhanAllah, even many Muslims, because they lost the habit of prayer and they lost the heart to give to the poor and feed the poor, that's why they were sentenced into the hellfire. So this is something that protects you from the hellfire, protects you from a lot of sadnesses, and brings blessings in your life, brings happiness, and brings discipline in your life. Inshallah ta'ala, may Allah give you and me and all of us the blessing of this habit of prayer, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair wa salaam alaikum.